You only have one chance to make a first impression.
Caramba, cara, a mulher tá quebrando.
Ô, Grandoso, Grandoso, eu falei pro rapaz aqui, eu vou te dar 10 reais pra você lá perguntar pra ela por que ela tá riscando o carro. Ele falou que vai me dar 20 pra mim lá. Aí é doido, hein, Luiz? Não arruma esse martelo?
Ela trouxe na bolsa.
E eu pensando que minha mulher era brava, hein?
Nossa senhora! Gente, por que ela fez isso?
Tem uma quebra legal, hein? Aí, Luiz, eu tenho uma santa em casa e não sabia.
Caramba, cara. Caramba, cara. Que moça doida.
Quebra mesmo. Oxe, quebra. Pior que ela tá fazendo dando risada, né? Quero filmar.
Meu, que mulher doida, cara. Você tá de brincadeira.
Lateral, filho, ó. A roda também.
Aê!
Tá brigando!
Que mulher louca, cara!
Bye,
Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more amazing, entertaining, delightful, great disciple content.
Tell me where the freak's at.
Hold up. Hey.
It's a case of he said, she said when it comes to the sheer devastation of a home. Government analyst Chris Kinda is suing his former tenant for rent, bills, and damages. Defendant Sharon Locklear says the plaintiff is a slumlord. The place was a dump before she moved in. Now it's Joe time.
So, Mr. Kinda, you are suing a former tenant for waste and also for past due rentals. You're saying that the plaintiff acted improperly as a landlord, and a lot of what he claims you were responsible for occurred before you moved in. Something like that?
Yes.
Your defense? Okay. Now, from what I've got is sworn documentation as part of your sworn account, sir, it reflects that basically the defendant had been a tenant of yours since 2009.
Yes.
And you say that May of the current year, she stopped paying her $1,050 a month rent, so you hired counsel and began the eviction process. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, she was ordered to remove her person and property from the premises August of this year, but she did not leave until the Sheriff's Department scheduled a forcible eviction for September 13th of this year.
Yes.
What happens to bring us here for arbitration?
Well, as you said, she signed a year lease in April 2009. That lease expired. She stayed there month to month thereafter. 2 weeks later, on the 15th, I asked her if she had the rent. She said she didn't. So I asked her if she was gonna, when she would have the rent. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she'd have the June rent. She said she would, and I said that she can pay off the May rent with the June rent and any subsequent rent. I also, at that time, came up and had her sign a notice to evict for failure to pay rent form, which listed the previous rent that was due, May's rent, and any late fee, which she signed. June came, I called her and asked her if she had the rent. She said again she didn't, so I had her sign another one, another notice to evict rent form that had the previous rent, June rent, and another late fee that she signed again, and that's when, as you said, I called my lawyer to file the eviction.
Now, you finally got possession, and I take it when you got possession, you had accompanied the sheriff's deputy
Yes.
to the premises on the date in question, which was, what, September 13th?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you find when you got the inspector?
I asked her that weekend if she was going to be out, and she said that she would. Sheriff and I opened the door, and immediately there were cockroaches that scattered everywhere. We walked through the house, and there were cockroaches, bugs, spiders, spider webs, all over the house. It looked like the place had been abandoned for months.
That about the standing water in the basement.
The sheriff and I walked through the lower level, and she went to go walk upstairs, and she shined her flashlight and saw more cockroaches and bugs and spider webs.
Basically, the deputy refused to go upstairs. It was so filthy.
She said that the house was disgusting and it appears vacant, so she's gonna leave because it's too disgusting. So that's when I walked through the rest of the house and I looked in the basement, and I saw that it had basically become their own dumpster. There was bags of trash.
What, wasn't there a dead rat found in the sink?
There was.
Further, you found some other rather noisome material in certain containers around and about the house.
Yes. One of the bedrooms appeared that whatever possessions they didn't want to take with them, they threw in that bedroom. My friend and I and two other people...
You, I believe, in your sworn statement, relate that you had to hire a professional cleanup company.
For the basement, a professional water restoration company to scrub and kill all the mold.
Let's see, you list a number of containers that were found to contain what appeared to be urine.
Yes.
And another one that contained a large amount of human fecal material.
I don't know how much because I didn't open the bucket, but it had a distinct stench to it.
Yes, enough said. Let's go to the defendant. What do you have to say?
Well, far as he don't know what went on in that room with all the bottles of the urine and all.
Have you ever heard the terminology, the thing speaks for itself?
Yeah, that speaks for itself.
The legal phrase is res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself.
And he knew about the sub pump in the basement.
What about the fecal material in the urine?
I have no idea about nothing in the bucket, but I do know about the bottles of urine and the broom because of the guy that was renting the house with me that he knew of.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Is it or is it not the fact that you had failed to pay the necessary utility bills and the water service was cut off? It also says in this lease that you are to give prompt notice to the landlord if there is any problem with such things as flooding.
And I did.
You did?
Yes, I have. I have called him and told him about the sub pump and about the leaks in the rooms and the caving in my daughter's bedroom.
Were you still living there?
Was I still? Yes, because I had nowhere else to go at the time.
All right, let's take a look now at where you were living.
And that's
what it looked like when the sheriff's deputy went there. Let's keep going.
No, that's all the trash that was in the basement.
That's all my stuff that was destroyed because of the water.
That's the bedroom in question with the bucket and bottles. Yep, there's the bucket. That's kind of how she left it, with ripped up tiles, broken window. There's the rat that's kind of just hanging out, chilling.
How did you manage to let this place get that filthy? What's wrong with you?
Ain't nothing wrong with me. The house was like that when I got it. Didn't know.
Nobody's gonna move into a house. What's wrong with
you?
you?
What's wrong with a house
if it looked like that when you moved in, again, what's wrong with you?
I got out of there. That's why he didn't get his money. I got out of there.
We'll be right back with Judge Joe Brown.
Who lived there with you?
A man named Clifford and his
daughter. That's your boyfriend?
Hell no.
What's his relationship to you?
I was going with his daughter.
And later, we're back with Judge Joe Brown. The defendant in this case says the house she rented for the plaintiff was a mess when she moved in. She says it was already infested with bugs, and the waste is not her fault. Let's see what the judge has to say.
How could you either live in that or move into that?
Well, when I moved in, he was painting everything. Everything was looking good.
That doesn't look like it has been painted in those pictures. So, if it was painted, what happened to the paint? So did you do that?
No.
Well then who did?
The paint in that room and everything is the way it was when I moved in there.
So you have you are 40 years old.
Yeah, I am 40 years old.
And you have a daughter in the mid-20s, a 21-year-old boy, a 20-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl. They live there?
No, my two daughters moved out of the house because of the bed bug problem. And
because of the problem. Oh yeah, and then the interesting thing I find is you say, we moved in and in 2 weeks we had a bed bug problem.
And my daughter's
that you brought in. So you brought in bed bugs.
Yeah, okay.
Were you running a crack house there?
No, I was not.
That's what it looks like, and it got a little bit out of hand. I noticed you're missing some of your teeth. You got a problem with watching the clouds go by?
No, I don't.
And are you just coming down off of something because you can't stand still and you can't stand up straight? What's your problem?
I'm off.
Oh, you are? Well, try looking in the mirror to find the source of whatever aggravation it is that's causing you to feel that way. So what's happening? You got a crack problem?
No, I don't. You can test me.
You're standing like it, acting like it, sound like it. The filth is associated with it. So what's the landlord got to do with the fecal material in the urine? In the buckets?
The guy that was in that room did that. I ain't have nothing to do with it.
The guy that was in that room. Who was in that room?
He knew you lived there with me. He didn't put nothing
on.
Who
lived there with you?
A man named Clifford and his
daughter. That's your boyfriend?
Hell no.
What's his relationship to you?
I was going with his daughter.
This, ma'am, is just absolutely deplorable and disgusting. $8,041 worth of damage and past due rents. I used to say, I'm declaring you pitiful, but you're pathetic. $5,000, sir, and your cost.
Thank you, sir.
This courtroom is now in business. Ooh, bugs and rats? Not exactly selling points to most people, but exactly what the defendant said she moved into. Yeah, the judge wasn't buying it either. The defendant will pay for this wreckage. Now we're on to the next case.